I'm sorry, everyone. If you were there waiting for this long period of time, I am very sorry. They kept me like frozen for a while, and I was trying to save it and keep everything intact. I'm like, man, this is crazy right now. Now, everybody, what was shocking to me is that people care mostly about the worst movies of the year more than they care about the best movies of the year. That's the crazy thing. Well, I want to give people time to get in here before I get on a roll and start going. There are a lot of bad movies. Some you have forgotten about, and you're very glad that you forgot about them because they were that bad. Now, somebody said honor up. Honor Up would that's a good mention for a very bad movie, but that's a very small movie theater release. I just don't wouldn't put that in the worst movies of the entire year. You know, when you got to look at those who had a budget. What was wrong with A Star Is Born? I thought it was clearly the best movie I've seen this year. And it's very shocking that a lot of the films, well, like I said, everything is not all, Marvel movies and comic book movies. I watch everything else. So for you, I'm quite sure you want to see lasers and a whole bunch of stuff, and you'd be like, "This is great! Aquaman should have been on the list." Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse almost made my list. Almost. It was a fun movie, but I wouldn't say it's a top 10 movie of the year. That's too prisoner of the moment. Um, a lot of people didn't like a movie that I thought was good, but we'll get into that later. So at number 10, we have 50 Shades Freed, the third and hopefully the final installment of the 50-year franchise. They keep making a whole lot of money off this 50 Shades crap, and they keep making all this cash. And I don't understand it, but someone keeps doing it. Keep putting it out, and people keep running to go check it out, and women love it. And poor Amber Heard. She finally got her wish though. She got a hit movie. It's her playing in Aquaman. Thank God for her. Now, this movie, I had a hard time putting this movie on the list, but we'll get to that later. Let's go to number 9. Number 9 on the list is Proud Mary. Taraji P. Henson's god awful movie. Proud Mary is this lady who's a hit man for a hit woman for a boss, and because she's a hit man for this boss, it just it became a mess. It became one big gigantic mess. Where could I begin with Proud Mary? I don't know if y'all remember Proud Mary. You couldn't watch it all. It is so. It's like the movie just ran out of money, and they just said, "There's the action scenes. There's nothing exciting about them. Character flaw, lack of character development. You don't know what's going on half of the time. Well, what happened to him? He's just dead." Okay, the whole movie, it just made no sense. No character you connect to. I would be all day about this movie. We move to number 8. Truth or Dare. Now, Truth or Dare wasn't that bad. For worst movies of the year, I thought Truth or Dare would be a lot worse than what it was. But it really was, it was all right. The acting is, they tried. And it's just corny. It's one of those corny, we want to make the money off the teens movie by putting in some popular teens that the girls think are hot. And the guys might think is hot. And it worked. The movie cost $4 million to make. That's how cheesy it was. And it took home $100 million. So they made over 90-some million dollars in profit. So to me, Truth or Dare basically won. Now, here's the movie review. They get suckered to go play Truth or Dare into this wooded area because this guy was dared to do it or whatever and didn't know it and end up involving other people in the game to free him from the game. And that was his only way out. Now everybody else is stuck in this game of Truth or Dare. So it's very different. I mean, the ending was kind of all right, I guess. Just wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be. But it's still a bad movie. They can't escape. Number 7. Holmes and Watson. Holmes and Watson, I had just seen this movie today. I haven't even done a movie review. And I said, I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to do it right here. There's this spoof of Sherlock Holmes with Will Ferrell and the other guy. John C. Reilly, who's known for Wreck-It Ralph, and he's making good money with Wreck-It Ralph. He needs to just stay on the Wreck-It Ralph path. It just came out and already has made the list. This movie is atrocious. The jokes do not land. Only a couple of them do, but this movie misses the mark way too far. I mean, way too far down the line. Now, at number 6, 1547 to Paris, or 1517 to Paris, the Clint Eastwood attempt to reenact the patriotic act that happened on the Paris train by the American soldiers. He loves to be patriotic as long as the people involved are white. And he decided that he was going to grab those same guys instead of actors to reenact the whole scene and put them in a movie. And of course they said, sure thing. And it sucked. The acting sucked because basically they're not actors. The real life scenario, the script, everything about it was terrible. And that was the movie. And now we move to number 5. Number 5 on this list is The Winchester. The Winchester is the movie and the story where Helen Mirren is boring everybody to death. The script is boring everybody to death about a haunted house where Helen Mirren feels that the spirit of the people of the guns that was used in the house to kill everybody, those people's spirits are still running around the house. So it's very boring. You don't care if anybody dies in this film. You just want out. And that's not a way a movie's supposed to make you feel. You're like, are they running out for fear? It's like, no, we're running out from boredom. As bad as that movie was, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue on. At number 4, we have London Fields. London Fields is a movie that was filmed like 3 years ago. It had Amber Heard and Johnny Depp into the film. It was a disaster, a complete disaster. The movie is narrated by Billy Bob Thornton. He's in the movie. He's trying to investigate a girl who has premonitions of her own death. It's from a book, and not all book adaptations actually make it a good movie. Amber Heard is basically half naked, manipulating this poor guy. There's a terrible rendition of a guy trying to play a bum. This actor, it is terrible. Well, he's playing like this worthless dart player who ends up going up against Johnny Depp's character, who's a dart player as well. And let's just say it's a mess. Well deserving of its ranking. Some might have it at number 1 if it wasn't for number 1. And it wasn't for these other god-awful movies. Now we're at number 3. Number 3. Unfriended. The Dark Web. This movie is beyond trash if I've ever seen it in my life. Oh my God. It's some unfriended, it's some dark web internet thing going on where this person finds a computer or a laptop, has got some information on it, don't belong to him. Now he's investigating it. It is terrible. Terrible. There's been a lot of bad ones. Nothing as bad as this. Very few. Only 2 more was as bad as Unfriended. Number 2, the Happytime Murders. The Happytime Murderers by far is bad as Dark Web was. It was better than this crap. This thing was supposed to be the funniest movie of the year, and everybody was like, it was so ridiculous, and it wasn't even funny. Even the one funny scene in it wasn't funny. It was just terrible, and I'm like, they got Melissa McCarthy to do this? And, of course, the Chinese paid for all this film. So they put up all the budget for it and got everything licensed and approved, and they took the money and ran. It was god-awful. I'm trying to think. How many more movies that were just bad out there? Traffic. A movie with Omar Epps. There's an honorable mention on this list, but it didn't make the list. It had its good points, and then it had its really bad points. Breaking In. Another bad movie that just didn't make the list with Gabrielle Union. Life of the Party with Melissa McCarthy. She almost had 2 in the top 10. I think I had that one at number 11. If I was to make a number 11, Life of the Party would probably be number 11. Who can guess what the number 1 is? The number 1 worst movie of the year. Wow, you guys are way off. The number one worst movie of 2018 is The Slender Man. The Slender Man, it is the biggest waste of your time in 2018. Do not go and see it. It is this year's bye-bye man. Do not waste your money. You run. You don't do anything. Do not want to see this film at all in your presence. Now, the Slender Man is based on this thing that you watch this whatever tape on the internet or whatever it is. You watch this clip and you say his name and the Slender Man will come, and who would want that? I mean, who wants... I'm like, in my movie review, I'm like, who wants this? Like, it's not like he's finna come and promise you gold. You come and make a wish and he grants you millions of dollars. What is the purpose of bringing him? Ooh, he's supposed to haunt you and do all this. Isn't it cool? No. It's not. I don't want him. Why would I want someone to come terrorize me? You want to get terrorized? Go into the ghetto at night. You'll find a lot of people to scare you. This movie was ridiculous. And that's why it is number one on the list. Now let's talk about some more honorable mentions that didn't make this list. A lot of people were throwing a lot of them. The Nun is definitely on that list of a movie that shouldn't have been on this, that could have made it. The Nun was bad, and definitely Predator. Predator is one of the worst, period. But it was still better than these movies. Predator is better than every movie on this list. The Nun is better than every movie on this list. These are without some of the trashiest movies of the year. So to recap, we got 50 Shades Freed at number 10. Then we had number 9, I believe, was Proud Mary. Then I believe we had Truth or Dare. Watson and Holmes was number 7. Then we had 15, 17 to Pairs. Then we had the Winchester. Then we had London Fields. Then we had Unfriended at number 3. Number 2 was the Happytime Murders. And number 1 is Slender Man. Robin Hood was not a good film, but all of those films were better than this one. Mile 22 wasn't that bad. It was bad, but not that bad. It just wasn't that good either. Pacific Rim Uprising was, very bad. Not good at all. Skyscraper with the Rock is a very good honorable mention. I was going to put Skyscraper on this list, but it is better than every movie I just mentioned. As bad as it is and ridiculous as it was, Skyscraper is better than these 10. Rampage was okay to me. Rampage is okay to me. I'll watch Rampage before I watch Skyscraper any day of the week. I got Negan in there. I mean, Rampage was... think of this plot. When you saw Rampage, what did you think about? The video game was outrageous. So what did you think the movie was going to be? Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. It was good. In my opinion, it was, but we'll see how everybody else feels about it. But on that note, it's your boy Carcino, and I am out. Thank you for tuning in to Screen Fiends. You guys could have super chatted here, but you chose not to. I'm out. Yeah, I didn't like Tomb Raider either.